All right, in the bottom left of our Matchpoint port Watchpoint, we've got jakulangski. Oh, I actually don't know this color. Is this royal blue? Bedazzled blue. And in the top right, we have Doglived. Yeah, the Japanese violet. No, dark lavender. I always screw his color up the first time. Dark lavender Protoss. So this is going to be some ZVP. This is actually a rematch of Acropolis 3's Battlement stage, believe it or not. Let's go ahead and start a prediction. Doglived has been a stalwart StarCraft 1 player for a very long time, and now he enjoys Cause Monarchy. We got a Larvosk on the way, and no surprises there. Jack will be going for his one Rillarokor pop to defend or attack an early scout, and a pool coming. Now, I do think that this kind of build order is specifically potentially fragile to what Doglived likes to do. He likes to go for a one-base technical opener timing, where he has like really powerful units in the early game, and he tries to get ahead with that, or at least stay even with that early pressure. I haven't seen too many other legs to his game. That being said, his gateway is done, and I'm not immediately certain what he's going to make in accordance with it. It could be a one-gate expand, in which case this build is totally fine. But if he's going for his usual stuff, I'm going to say something different is going on. With the pool coming and the gas only now restarting, we got that Kagran pushing the creep, the Kagra, a little bit closer to the expansion. On this map, this is actually really hard to do. So it wouldn't surprise me if jakulangski can't get up to his usual antics. Grand Library coming is no surprise. That's actually one of the things that allowed Doglived to squeak a win over jakulangski in Battlement stage, was using Psystorm. Something that I feel like Protoss definitely want to do versus Zerg when they can. And it looks like there will be an expansion. The Hierophant arriving a little bit too late to do anything about that, or slow it. And now, Doglived kind of has to micro his way out of a really rough situation. The Hierophant can escape, but it is going to require a little bit of attention. Now back at home, disengaging, makes an Amaranth. His gateway has been idle after the second Hierophant. It will make a third. Interestingly enough, and straight into Vornath here for Jack. I think he might be trying to barrel into the Lyrilisc. Very powerful unit for the Zerg at the early game. It is going to require one more mutation after the pool finishes morphing right now. So it won't be so easy. He's got to split his focus now, microing 2 units on 2 different fronts. And again, remember, Doglived likes his technical openings with small unit counts, but powerful ones. Amaranth is definitely going to be something that fits the bill. You can see it's just not going to go down to individual Zets. He's going to need to overpower it. And as the Zeth count falls, it's really, really easy for that one. This one actually slips away as well. So the Hierophants, no casualties have been incurred just yet by Doglived. And the Zeth count is, it's starting to fall in favor of Doglived in this early game. The Vorvs are going to come out pretty soon. We got a Matrix in the mineral line. I definitely respect that. Straight into the Sedent. He's already capped this one as well. I wonder what he's planning. So that gives you a lot of extra Vespene, but it does require some resources in order to obtain in the early game. This looks like it could be an overrun situation. Only having a couple of Amaranths is really bad in this spot. And look at that, surrounding one of the fresh health Hierophants as well. Sometimes you only need Zets and Vorvs, guys. The Matrix was canceled as well. Oh, Doglived. He's going to have to use his workers. That's the only way he can bail himself out of this situation. We got more units rallying in. Jack hasn't made workers in a very long time. Equivalent to a Zergling all-in StarCraft 1. He's going to try to tear down the Grand Library. The Vorvs are rending 1 armor, just 1, off this Grand Library, making the Zethicors able to attack it even easier. And the Hierophant's going to go down to some stragglers as the Grand Library falls, and the workers may be the next to be targeted. You can go after the Sedent as well. It's very, very not tanky. And GG is going to have to be called here. Doglived simply can't handle it. As the chat reminds you, as the chatbot reminds you, you can support project development for Cause Monarchy using the coffee link in the description box of the Twitch panel. You can also donate to the stream directly. Streamlabs.com/Pronago is the way to go for something like that. I do appreciate the support. We try to earn about 50 bucks a day on these streams. Helps me fund further developments. I has a Jock. What? Remove toss. What's up, dog? I agree. Except I don't. It would be really funny if that was the end of the sentence. He just says, "What do you call a?" and then doesn't say anything. Well, yeah, he's not going to say anything. What kind of psychological warfare is that, Jack? What do you call a you? Colon P. He. X. N parentheses. Colon D. Well, at least Doglived is having fun too. Maybe at the caster's expense. We'll go ahead and pick out Jack as the winner of that last match, but we can set up a new Gamba on Twitch. You bet your minerals. You bet your minerals. There's going to be Gamba. But with the pool starting up, we are going to see the gateway in the Grand Library. But I will note, it feels a lot faster. Maybe like 15, 20 seconds faster, actually. Very significant. And I do think the Hierophant will be able to make it across the map and maybe contest that expansion. Jack's going to probably build another Kagrant first. We'll see what he wants to do as his pool's about to pop. What is he thinking? Yeah, okay, it is a Kagrant. He's probably going to go for at least double Larvosk. Last game I noticed he went triple Larvosk around the hatch and obviously had his expansion. So he was making 5 larvae every 14 seconds, and he was using all of them on units. And that's a cheeky way to fight Doglived, because Doglived usually plays a much more aggressive game. So that Hierophant will move across the map, and it looks like it's once again going to be narrowly late to try to stop this expansion attempt. Doglived will go for his own Gateway, Grand Library, Expand, and he's kept thorough unit production, so I don't think he's going to make the same mistake as last game. I would love to see him try to plug this wall a little bit. It's a little bit easier to do so in the new version of the map where it replaces this mineral field with a structure. So it's a little bit more predictable how it's going to work out. Straight into a Hydrith Den this time around, Jack. He does like to change his build order a couple of times when facing players, but I've noticed it kind of depends on who he's fighting. Other times he'll just stick to the same build order, very rote. This time around, not really happening in the same way. Interesting stuff. A Nexus about halfway complete. We've got some Zethicors coming across. They're really only going to attack the Nexus and scout out that there's an expansion. Well, I don't think Jack has much of a career as a stand-up comic, but he did distract Doglived a little bit, right? He typed that as his Zeth started to walk in. Man, maybe Jack was really overtired or something, you know what I mean? Or he just didn't have his daily oil. I don't know. Something weird happened there. I love the animated Side Disruptor. Very cool. Very epic. Shout out DF. Also gave it team color. I think the power generator also didn't have team color before. So very cool there. When you see like an upgrade to an existing graphic that always existed, it does feel really nice. When it's like a subtle upgrade like that. It's like how your brain remembered it after a lot of nostalgia. The nostalgia view. Pretty cool. In fact, that's kind of what I decided early on that I would hope Cosmonarchy turns into, is not really a nostalgia view of Brood War, but something where it feels like you're rediscovering an aspect of Brood War. It's like a whole new world, but still comparable enough to give you those feelings of discovering that which you always knew. Maybe that's a little too poetic, but it's cool. What's up, Mafias? Mafias in the chat. Remove toss. A common feeling, a common refrain in these parts. Zets are all over the place for Jack, scouting out a bunch of the bases. He's going to go ahead and pop one of them on the ramp. This one scouting out the 3 o'clock. This one not quite top left, but that's all right. And it's a technical army here for Doglived, but he's adding a unitary unit as his tier 3. This is a very like unit light composition, and Jack, meanwhile, he's made way more workers. He made precisely 20 more workers than the last game at around the same time, maybe a little bit earlier, I guess. The Hierophant could get surrounded. Nice Amaranth just saves it out there by cleaving that Zeth. And this is a temporarily scary position for our Zerg player. but he's going to start making the Teth Zora core. That's what he's rushed to. His Apex strains are not from the pool the way that I thought he was gunning for it last game. He ended up finishing it with Zethvorv. Double Unitary is the response. Okay, this has the potential to go very Doglived favorite. If he can get Unars out, he can overwhelm the limited number of Apex tanks that you see being made here right now. I call these Apex strains because they're the highest level of tech you can go to on tier 1 from that branch. So the Apex Assault strains are going to be the Tetzoricor and the Vithrilisk, which is the Devourer equivalent. Tetzoricor, of course, a completely new unit, has the Chad Walk, has Lifesteal. You attack it, it fires back with a projectile within a short range as a retaliation. So it can overwhelm smaller armies, but you can get really good alpha damage if you grab some much-needed Unars here. Now, that's not what Doglived is making. He's making Asilians, which will be pretty good at dealing with everything else, but not very good at dealing with the Tetzoricor. He actually has very limited, like, straight-up damage here. So it might be a hard ask of him to overwhelm the front line. Now, his Amaranths are attack speed driven. They have that red overlay indicating that they can attack speed a lot more, and that means they will be shield stealing. The Bulwark also helping out a little bit, trying to maybe mass up in that position. Can he overwhelm the Tetzoricor? Looks like the answer is yes. He's going to try to overwhelm a couple of them. There's only 2 more left, and look at this, the wall of ranged units stopping the rest of the army from getting in. Oh, but he's got more Amaranths that can't quite help out either. It's kind of a melee walling on both sides. We don't really see a focus from Doglived on any one unit, but he does pop a couple more. The Asiliant arrives, Scribes are pulled. That's just going to add more lifesteal opportunities to the Tetzoricor. It does melee splash. Oh, it's an overwhelm. It feels like Jack can maybe overwhelm this position pretty easily, and we're still making Asiliants right now instead of the Unars, despite the money. I think Unar, Architect, both of those could have maybe held this position, but now the Tetzoricors are splashing all of these units. Slowly they're being overwhelmed. Maybe, just maybe, we got some more units coming in. Honestly, not as many as before. Our Tetzoricor count is pretty low. We got some Asilians popping in. Were one of them not rallied? Okay, they come on in now, but they're not on an attack move. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that they're busy dealing with the units that can actually do damage. Jakulangski trying to dive onto those Asilians, knowing that they are a higher tech unit. They've got better armor pen. They can definitely help out in this position. And look at that. He tries to remorph right in his face. That's not going to help. And it looks like just barely Doglived holds minimal worker casualties. He's actually got a reasonable worker count. And he will stabilize. That looked really scary for a moment. I hope he decides to switch into some Unars. Jakulangski is basically making the same composition, but he's taken 9 o'clock during that. So we are going to need to see a move out, and this is way too little Zerg to overwhelm the Amaranth Shield Steal. We even have a Hierophant still, so we can still get that attack speed buff from the Ascension. One Tetzoricor will finish. It will eventually be brought down, I feel like. It's slowed. He can't get away, so that probably should have been a cancel. And there you go. That's a wrap on that. Artisans are starting to harvest from 12 o'clock. There's a Zethicor spotting them out, but what can Jakulangski really do in this spot? He's got 2 more Tetzors up here, and he's making a couple extra. Unars are being made, so Doglived is realizing pretty much what I was saying. Zealot Amaranth is going to be the front line here, and the Asiliants are trying to do what they can to deal with the Tetzoricors. They can help bring it down, as you're seeing right now. But I don't know if there's going to be enough firepower left in this technical army to overwhelm things. You see the bouncing happening quite nicely, but eventually the Asiliant will be overwhelmed if it doesn't get out of there. And the Burrow is there to try to stop the vision from being there so they can cleanse the sort of bounce attack. Unfortunately, a couple more units are just on rally here. The Asiliants are full HP. You actually do have to respect them. Doglived winning that fight without even looking. But a couple of casualties, unfortunately. More Grand Libraries I think he recognizes. He wants the Amaranths for sure. Maybe even some Atreus wouldn't hurt. Unars have arrived. He can try to go ahead and take this base down here. Skithorcors have arrived to kill the Artisans. The Harvesters are going to struggle with that position, but it does look like one Skith will not get away, thanks to the Hierophant tagging it. So a Nexus can be put down here, and a bunch of Hydras being made. Now, this switch is kind of scary because the Unars are here to deal with the tanky frontline units, but if you mostly skip those and just make mass Hydra, you can try to overwhelm there, and that's when you need the Asiliant. So you can see it's a bit of a push and pull right now. And Doglived is going to be styling on him in the middle. I don't know about this one, Doglived. I think you might need to control your army here, buddy. You're being Dovan on and you don't even know it. Oh, the split damage, though, is so good. The Asiliant's just standing and fighting. The Unars aren't with them. They can cycle in now. It looks like a lot of those Asiliants going down. 3 of them have already fallen. There remain 3. Some of them are already bruised. And the Unars take out the remaining stuff on the flank on that east side. 12 o'clock just had a scuffle with a Zethicor scout being killed. Falling back to the high ground, Jakulangski trying to make things work. He's got more units coming in, including Atreus, like I mentioned, but a lot of these are just Amaranths for the front line, and honestly, that's a brilliant choice. If we can get a couple more Unars and Asilians, we'll take it. Architects would help out as well for laying siege. They have great range. And a Cantavis has also started for Storm, which probably does help out a little bit. Now, I guess we're on like 2.5 bases right now for Doglived, and Jack is on 3 full bases and thinking about taking 6 o'clock as his 4th. So even though he's going to lose the Skith, did he kill the Scribe? I don't see a corpse anywhere. It looks like it went all the way back home. But we do definitely need a proper base. And now Doglived is going to have to take care of the incoming Zerg units. I think he has some tools, but where are his melee units? Where are his frontline units? Okay, some of his units are coming up to try to reinforce, but he needs to cycle back these units on the front, including a Unar that can get focused down so easily. It looks like instead maybe the Asilians are the main targets, which I guess I can't argue with. They are doing a ton of split damage. Oh, it looks so close for both sides, but it does look like the Protoss army is going to stay alive there. Only a couple of Asilians falling as far as the expensive technical units go, and the front line on the melee side is working out wonders. I think Jack was kind of experimenting with the Tethvith, and it turns out the results are a little bit mixed. Maybe the people in chat saying to remove Toss were right. It's right about now. Doglived does look to be in pole position, at least in a position of power. There is no detection, but he has embassies to make it. So even though there's a bunch of Lakes coming, the Zorkish Shroud is on the front line as well. Nebline would crucify Jakulangski for building this here. We've got a Storm as well, a couple Stormers. Clearing out some of the Drolettes, they get evacuated. Man, I don't think this is going to work out here for Jack. He's going to do his best. As soon as Doglived realizes where the Lakes are coming from, he is going to be able to clear them. He might even just do it incidentally, yeah. Like, he's just going to walk up and then attack move, surely, yep. And that is going to be it for this position. Not only that, but that's going to be it for the Zorkish Shroud. He's storming anywhere, any old place. Maybe it's over there. What's a sneaky spot? He might have done it. Still no witnesses coming for Doglived, but again, he doesn't really need it. GG is called! And we have ourselves a 1-1 set so far with 2 more games to go, I believe. Indeed. Well, that's exciting. We get to see a little bit of success out of the Protoss. And honestly, part of it was that Jack went for a really weird composition, but let's see if Doglived can sustain that success over time. That's what I want to see from here. We're going to get straight into the next round of play here. There is, of course, a Gamba up on Twitch. Also, drop a follow on the stream if you're not already. We are looking for more followers, more numbers. Number go up, make brain go up as well. You know what I mean? So it is appreciated. It is appreciated. Jakulangski in the top right. He is our Coral Zerg player. And Doglived in the bottom left, our Dark Lavender Protoss. Once again, we are in Watchpoint. All of these games are in Watchpoint, but this time we have cross spawns, so different spawns, flipped spawn. What? I don't know what Jakulangski's talking about, honestly, and I don't think Doglived knows either. Yeah, Jack really was on a silly mode. LMAO is right, buddy. A red duck. There you go. That's the expert analysis from Jakulangski here. I feel like these are all very fast games. Even that last one, which we did get to see to some, ascend to some scale, where it was like sort of 3 bases on both sides. The Artisans kind of count as that. And I think he was setting up 3 o'clock as well. Obviously, Jack had 9. But Doglived versus Jack, they're both very happy to throw down in the early game. So I do expect things to be pretty wild in that way. And there it is. Grand Library start again. Dialed in build a little bit more. Good to see Doglived doing that. And it looks like we have a... Wow. Okay. So Jack is so certain that the first unit timing is going to be late for Doglived. He's adapting to his opponent by going triple Larvosk in the early game. I think that's what's happening here. That's why he's got 4 workers on Vespene. Gonna wait for that 125, and then he'll go for it. Although he is gonna need a little bit more Mineralis first. There you go. So it's triple Larvosk before Techno. This is a very greedy build, and I feel like Jack will overrun like game 1, or he'll be punished for it. And Doglived has not been scouting, even with his Hierophant. So this is actually a really prescient play. Prescient, I guess is how you actually pronounce it. Prescient play from Jakulangski. So much so that I'm going to go ahead and, if I were a betting person, I would definitely take Mr. Jakulangski here. I would go for that. Now the pool is coming. Nexus is coming. Doglived probably feels like he's the one cutting corners and being a little bit greedy, but actually it's Jack. Zerg, always more greedy than the other player. Always has the ability to, anyway. We'll see if he even bothers taking an expansion here, because I really do think it's just going to end with a pool. Oh, he's actually sending out a Droleth, and that's not for a scout, so I guess he is going to take an Expo. Guarding the ramp. Hierophant Amaranth. It's a composition that does carry its own weight, for sure. Jack just has really row cores, and that's it. Acherosk starting. Slowly assembling a Quaz army. Like, if Doglived arrived on his doorstep right now, he'd have to cancel the hatch. He would be in some trouble. But because Doglived is slow to scale up his army, he's expanding kind of early. Reasonable timing, I guess, but it's behind a technical opener. It does mean that Jack has this advantage where he can kind of go for this now. He's stacking up enough Quaz. He could kind of withstand an assault, even if Doglived was in his base with all of the units right now. The Quaz count is high enough, and it's growing, that it really doesn't feel like it's going to be quite enough here. Now, if we see the Vornath pop up pretty soon here for Jack, we know he's serious about this. We know he's really going for it, just like in Game 1. And that did work for Jack. It did end up getting rid of Doglived. We'll see if we can do it again. Quaz moving forward as the hatch pops. Both players kind of no rush, 5 minutes at least. Or maybe only 4, as Jack is already starting to leave the building with mass Quaz. And I wouldn't be surprised if he reinforces with a whole buttload of Zeths. Because once he does that, he can turn them into Vorvs, and he can just use the Quaz in the forward position of the map as a staging point for that. He'll busy his Quaz by attacking the Disruptor in the middle of the map. Slowly making a couple more workers as well. Maybe he'll only make the Zeths once the pool finishes. Or maybe this is a wild rushed straight to the lake, and he's going to do it based on that. That's a possibility as well, since he made so many Quaz, but I guess we'll find out pretty soon here. Yeah, he's doing it. I think for sure. Yeah, there it is. The lake coming. Now, it did get a little bit more expensive, but he did mine up the same amount of resources he would need, actually, to do it more or less. It's not that different. So he had the gas on hand. It was 200, 100 on this patch, I think, and it's 200, 200 now. So, you know, it equates to, like, what, 4 less Lyrilisks in the early game? Which maybe is actually going to be consequential here in the fight. We'll try to shadowbox that. The Unitary Union and the Asilience that it's going to make are going to come way too late, I think. The Lyrilisks are going to be on the way soon. And, I mean, Jack's either going to win or he's going to lose, I think, off of the first push. Although maybe if he loses his army, it's not that bad. It depends on how much damage he does to Doglived's forces. And 14 Lyrilisks are on the way. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. I feel like, you know, Doglived is a dad. Dad-lived. So he probably just thinks he's talking to one of his kids, you know? He's like, that sure is funny. Kid? Son? Ixgnalukaj. There you go. That's how you pronounce Jakulangski's name backwards. The Lyrilisks are going to bear down on this army on the front, but there is a drop coming in with 6 of them from the main base, earmarked for the main base. And honestly, right now, Doglived's army does seem to be doing pretty well in this position. I love that he's kind of dialing back. And you're going to see the Lyrilisks go after that. The drop still hasn't actually happened. Although 3 o'clock is being taken, this army is dead. And he didn't really do that much damage either. There's one Matrix. He is going to need to dial back with the Hierophants, I think. The Lyrilisks will overwhelm this position. So let's see how much damage is actually being dealt here. But Jack lost his whole army. Oh, he's just going to leave. Or maybe dial back further away from the Matrix. I'm not quite sure. You can see the immediate transfer of workers. The Matrix does end up going down. And the army is going to burst into action. You can see him go after the Unitary. There is an Asiliant with the army as well. He's got a couple more coming. Kind of tagging the Ovaleth right now, which isn't really where they want to be. Well, would you look at that? I can't believe it, but the Lyrilusk rush did not work. At least not yet. I mean, the army looks really scary for Doglived as well. I know that there's a ton of units out, but a lot of these are brood spawn. Zorka's Shroud is starting. He's making a lot more Lyrilisks. Maybe he can do something here. He's only killed, what, like 2 workers? Yeah. These 2 workers, and then I don't even think there was one that died over here earlier, so that was it. All of that for 2 workers and, like, a Hierophant, an Amaranth. So, he's making a lot of Orvs, but there's already Asiliants out, although they're not with the army. That's a critical miss right now from Doglived. He needs to grab these 2 Asiliants and escort them. If he gets all 3 Asiliants in one spot, and he can defend them from the Zerg encroachment, that can be a really big swing. Now, Jack's going to lose the 3 o'clock position. I guess that would be another argument for keeping the Asiliants at home, is that maybe you're worried about the crunch there. He needs to dial back immediately. If this Asiliant goes down, his odds of being able to make something happen here are going to be much less significant, and it gets surrounded immediately. The Amaranths are going to get closed in on, and these Asiliants are all back here. It's a disaster with the army movement. This fight won't look initially too bad for Doglived, but as the Vorps start to descend and really wreck the armor, that's really where I think the Amaranths start to fall down. And so the Asiliants are going to have to double back. If he stacks up enough of those, it can be game over. And Doglived has so much money as well. His Xenolith is finished, but he can't quite recall to get his army out in time. Requires a little bit more going on there. Oh my god, these Asiliants are so close to death. You can see Jack trying to see if he can overwhelm and click him down. Only now does he get there. The other Asiliants are going to stand and fight, and that will help out. As long as one Asiliant is within range, the bounces will continue. Actually busting this position is going to be difficult, I think, for Jack, but let's find out. Maybe I'm wrong about that, because Doglived is only now really making more units. He's only got the 4 Asiliants. He's going to dive onto them, and with the armor rend, it helps the Lyrilisks clear him out, and there was no micro back from Doglived. He just ends up losing damn near everything, with many more Zerg units where that came from. He did at some point reset his army, but it didn't look like he spent his money very well. GG is going to have to be called after that one, and honestly, I felt like Jack was really close to losing that. And that will be a Jack victory. 2-1 so far. We've got one more match. Doglived has the opportunity to strike back, but it looks a bit dire for him. Back at it again with our final game between these 2 players. Jack versus Doglived. Let's see who ends up winning. We've got, in the bottom left, Jakulangski, who is typing absolute gibberish now. He's totally given up. He is our Cyan Zerg. And in the top right, we have our Dark Lavender Protoss, Doglived. Back in their spawns from the first 2 games. Although Jack is using a different username now, but that is the same username. That's his Discord username, I think. If you try to donate that text-to-speech to Artosis casts, it will say, like, subscript symbol, subscript symbol, subscript symbol, or whatever. So, just enjoy that. Or subsection, maybe? I think that's what it is. One of the funniest Artosis videos that I ever saw was when he was reacting to his own stream and yelling really loudly at the camera, "Skip the dono! Skip it, asshole!" to himself. Because as a viewer, he couldn't tolerate it, but he somehow tuned it out as the actual streamer. And honestly, that really was just, somehow that was peak absurdism. I don't know why that got me so much, but I remember that very fondly. We have a 2-gate out of Doglived, and it will be a more normal pool opening after the Larvosk for our Jack. So I guess that's interesting. We already have a little bit of a difference between the last games. I guess this is more like game 1 for Jack, but looks a bit different here for Doglived already. I'm interested in what he wants to do. First game, it was a little bit slow to start with the build order. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Top Ramen. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hey, shout out to all of the prize pool donors, actually, for our prize purse for the next show match. If you guys are curious about the next show match, it will be held in about 2 weeks' time. It'll be the 29th of August on Friday. It's featuring Zeki as Zerg, Wolfix as Terran, and we're waiting to hear back from Oyaji, known by some Swedish Protoss. He already featured in one show match before. If he does not show up, we'll extend the invitation to Bonath and DeWalt, who are already also locked in for a separate show match later. Or maybe a different Protoss entirely, we'll see. But, yeah, still waiting on that. And what else do we have? Show match number 4 was actually originally going to be DeWalt versus Bonath. It's still happening, but now it's show match number 5. And instead we have a StarCraft 2 player show match as show match number 4. It's going to be happening on September 6th at around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be streaming that to you live. That's a Saturday. And that's going to be a good time for sure. The players there are locked in right now as... Let me get his name right here. I don't want to mispronounce it. Han Mono as Terran. Oh my god, a proxy Larvosk spreading Kagra. That's not what I expected, by the way, but... I don't know. I don't think that's going to be quite enough, honestly. Oh shit, we just got remove Viscosi. Don't say that, Neutschern. We just got 3 by Biddy Bee. Hell yeah, brother. That's probably for the prize pool if I had to guess, but I'll take a look at it in a moment after the game. But Han Mono as Terran, Trigger as Protoss, and Young Yakov. Is that how you say his name? No, Young Yakov, excuse me, as Zerg. So that'll be a StarCraft 2 player show match. So we got a lot of show matches booked already, and we're still building up some more. Now, the Ovaleth has arrived and sees a more normal-looking set of Protoss units, but that would feel really weird to me if I saw my opponent just fly his Ovaleth in. Indeed, it's going to force the trigger to, pull the trigger to move forward. Doglived is going to charge forward, and now it's Jack's job just to stay alive because he's making a Lakizalisk on the front line inside, behind enemy lines, really. Dude, how is Doglived not seeing the Kagra? No way, bro. There's no way. I mean, this could be base race territory. Like, what does he even have at home? An Ecclesiast leaving? Here we go. What are you going to do, Doglived? He's like, it's a drop. And then he looks over here. It's a proxy? My god, man. Shuts down the mining immediately. Units are going to be scrambled here to deal with the few units that are here. There's a Zorius and a couple more Zets finishing. Meanwhile, the front gates are dying. Jakulangski was not microing his Lakis on the front line, and so you stood on top of it to reveal it, and Doglived dives forward. It's a legit base race, but maybe not, as that lake is well, it's being attacked right now. The Vassal could be turned around to shoot the units that can't shoot up. We got more Zets coming. Whose base is going to die first? We have more units finishing up over here, including a Lakis and a Zorius. This could be problematic, as Doglived is going to have to split his micro to deal with that. Oh, he's attacking the Zorius. That's the bad idea. It's just going to make more Rilla Road Cores. This just got a whole lot harder to predict. Almost all the units are dead. Now he's finally going to deal with that Lakis. He's got more units being gestated back at home, but I think Jakulangski, he's closer to demise. He just needs to focus down this Hatcherosk, and he's gone. But look at all that's left. Oh, is the Lakis actually dead? It died. The Lakis died. Jakulangski can't finish it. There's no way. No way, Jose. See you later, Jack. You absolutely absurd person. You wild creature. You have done what I thought was the impossible. You pulled off an impressive-looking proxy Larvosk, and for that I commend you. But Doglived, he stayed alive. What a wild game.